welcome back. Today we start with prisms. So nothing else to say, and let's begin. Now you may ask what a prism is. A prism is any transparent, not transparent. Actually, mathematically speaking, prism is actually this figure. Okay, this figure. I'll try to draw. You draw this. One second. I'll try to draw this. Not so good at drawing. So this is what a prism looks like. Okay, and usually when we do refraction, we mainly talk about the glass prism. We mainly use glass prism. Okay, means the material that is made out of this is glass. Okay, this is a very familiar experiment in a prism. If you see that if you see these triangles, okay, no, let me just first tell you some terminologies of how to do of a prism. Okay, I'm pausing the video now. I think that's a good draw. That's a good prism drawing. Okay, so what is this side? Okay, this side of a prism and that side of a prism. Okay, these two sides are called nothing but my refracting surfaces. Okay, this part is what mathematics also it is called an edge. So it will be, I'm just writing R, refracting edge. Okay, and then obviously you can see this. I'll use a different color. This part is called the base. Understand, this part is called the base. Now the two refracting surfaces are not parallel to each other. Okay, they're inclined with an angle, let's say A. This angle is let me erase all of this, okay, because I'm not erasing this picture of the prism ever. It's one of my best draws, I guess. So one second, yes. So I say about this angle, this is called A, or this is called the angle of prism. This is called the angle of prism. Understand? Now whenever you draw a ray diagram for a prism, you don't have to show it like this, but you have to show like this. Let's say this is A B C, this point. You have to show like this triangle A B C. You have to show the side view, not like the I have done in an inclined way. Okay, you have to show the one single side view so that it looks like a 2D figure. Okay, because you can't draw a 3D figure in the exam. Okay, so now when actually a there is refraction through a glass prism, how does it means what are the terminologies with that? So let me actually draw a glass prism now. This is the best I could draw of a prism. Let's actually mark the points with white only. Let's say this is A, this is B, this is C, and let's say I told you that no, so M, let's say this point is M, means this point. Okay, M N P, I'm writing P in this side, P Q, this line, this, not this point is not Q. One second, Q, and any more points left? You say no. Let's say this point is O, R, then let's say no, let this be R, and let's say I make this L. Okay, so this is the whole diagram. If you see now, in this diagram you have to draw this in your exam, so remember this. Okay, now what do we know about incidence ray? It is the line drawn from the normal. It is the line from the normal, and this OP is obviously the incident ray. So this will be my, let me color with a different one. This will be my incidence angle, that is I. Understand? Understand this very clearly. Let's say this is I will name this I1. Okay, now what is the emergent ray? This line is my emergent ray. An emergent ray angle from the normal is what? My refracted emergent angle. I am writing it I2. Okay, so as you would see, let's say this angle, let it be R1, let it be R2, and this angle is called the angle of deviation or delta. What is angle of deviation? Let me explain you briefly. Like if there is a light ray going like this, now after some process now the light ray becomes like this. So by what angle has it deviated? That is my angle of deviation. If you would see, earlier the line should have gone like, let me use a better color here, the line should have gone like this, but now after refraction the light is going like this. So this angle means the line has rotated by this much to get to the refracted ray. Understand? Let me erase these two. Okay, this is a diagram, and let's say I will just name these two delta 1 and delta 2. Understand? So I will erase this picture. Okay, no need of this now. So if you see this is the complete diagram of a like light passing through a glass prism. Incident ray I told, emergent ray I told, emergent angle I told, incident angle I told, angle of deviation I told, everything is there. And also remember the principle of reversibility of path of light. If I even change the direction, it will go the same way. Understand? It will go the same way, nothing else will happen. Now we are going to tell you a very important thing. Very, this formula we are going to prove. This formula, let me write this formula. One second, before that I forgot to label one thing here. One second, this angle is A. Okay, remember angle of prism only. This is very important. What I'm going to tell you now, I1 plus I2 is equal to A plus delta. This you can say is the main theorem of prisms we are going to do. This is prism in totality. Okay, I1 plus I2 is equal to A plus delta. Meaning what? That in the incidence angle is plus the emergent angle is equal to the angle of prism plus the angle of deviation. So let's start with this diagram only. One second. I will change it later. Leave it. Now I will use this diagram only to show you the proof. Why that is so. So let's do the proof now. So now we'll do the proof. So to understand the proof, you have to understand the essence behind the proof. So we are proving this. Okay, we are proving this, and this is the diagram. Let me just shift this here so it looks good. This is what we have to prove, and this is the messed up diagram, as you can say. And so let's begin the proof. As you can see, let's say we are considering this quadrilateral APNQ. Yes, APNQ. In this APNQ, if you see minutely, you will see what? This line is the normal, so this has to be 90 degrees. This line is again the normal, so this has to be 90 degrees. I'm erasing this for the sake of the diagram. So I can say what? So this angle plus this angle is 180 degree. So this angle plus this angle has to be 360 minus 180 degree. That is 180 degree itself. What am I doing? One second. Let me remove these sides. So in APNQ, I can say what? PAQ, angle PAQ. See, light is nothing but geometry. You have to be good in geometry. Plus PNQ is equal to 180 degree. This I found out. Now PAQ is nothing but my angle of the prism. A plus PNQ is equal to 180 degree. Let's say this is my equation 1. So now if you see clearly again in the diagram, I would say look at this triangle. Look at this triangle. Okay, in this triangle, as you can see, one angle is R1, another angle is R2, and one angle I don't know. I know that is PNQ. What is wrong with me today? So what I can say here is that R1 plus R2 plus angle PNQ, this thing will become 180 degrees because they form a triangle. And if you would see, if I do this as equation number 2, so if I do equation number 2 minus equation number 1, you would say what? R1 plus R2 minus A will be equal to 0. Do the math. Okay, I'm not doing the math, this is physics. So I reach my first major breakthrough in this proof. A is equal to R1 plus R2. First big step. Mind you, this is the first big milestone we have unearthed, or we have done, so that we can solve the problem. Okay, so R1 plus R2 equal to A. Next part, if you would see, one second. Now yes, in this diagram, let's say in this diagram, so let's revisit this diagram. If you would see very clearly again, this line and this line are intersecting lines. So what can I say about these lines then? That the next thing we can say, delta 1, I'll not do it in this page, delta 1 plus R1 is equal to I1. I can say from this, because this angle is equal to this angle then, and similarly then this angle will be equal to this angle, because they are vertically opposite angles, if you remember. One second. So delta 2 will be nothing but delta 2 plus R2 is nothing but I2. Now if you add these two, I get delta 1 plus delta 2 is equal to I1 plus I2 minus R1 plus R2 in a bracket, obviously. This is my expression that I get. Now if you can see clearly in mathematics, if you have learned this triangle, focus on this diagram now. So for this triangle, the exterior angle will be the delta, and the interior two angles will be delta 1 and delta 2. Understand this clearly. So now I can say what? Delta is nothing but delta 1. Why am I writing D? Delta 1 plus delta 2. So I can write here from that delta is equal to I1 plus I2 minus R1 plus R2. My second breakthrough. This is my second most important point. These 2 points are the basis of my proof. Okay, so if you remember, A, as I proved, was R1 plus R2. Can we not substitute that? We will substitute that. So it will be I1 plus I2 minus A. So A plus delta is equal to I1 plus I2. The greatest proof. This is, as you can also call, law of prisms, or whatever, the formula of prism actually in general. Okay, see now, if you now from this we can do some inferences. What are the inferences? And mostly you can say the factors that now since we have found out a formula to find the angle of deviation, see, and you can easily measure I1 and I2. Angle of prism you'll just measure from the prism, so you'll measure it from the prism. So this one is our variable. So we have found out a way to find out the delta. So how does it depend? Many people ask, how does it depend? Now let's say the first and the most important thing is that it depends on the angle of incidence. Angle of incidence. So the first factor is the angle of incidence, means I1 in this case. The graph if I draw is this. One second. Let's say this is I1 and this is deviation. So graph will look something like this. So if I change the color here, you'll see this at this point and at this point. These 2 points are our major thing to focus. If you would see, this point is my point of delta minimum, and this point is nothing but my delta maximum. In the book there will be not given any delta maximum, but a little bit I will tell you. Delta minimum, delta maximum, if you understand. Now if there is no like proof I can give you, but delta minimum, I'll change to my white color. One second. Delta, why can't I write delta? Delta minimum occurs when it has been seen experimentally. When does it occur? When does it occur? When I1 is equal to I2. I1 equal to I2. Understand? Or R1 equal to R2. Any one of this case. Any one of this case happens, you can say it will be the minimum, in minimum value. So I1 has to be equal to I2, and or the R1 has to be equal to R2 here, if you understand, R2. Okay, meaning these two satisfy always, okay, when there is delta minimum, because the main meaning here is angle of incidence. Angle of incidence has to be equal of angle of emergence. So if I'll go back to the famous diagram I drew. I'm saving this. This is my wallpaper for my phone. This is my wallpaper. Okay, so here if you see, if I say delta minimum is when angle of incidence, meaning this is equal to this. That means what? These two are also constant and these two are also constant always. Understand? If these two are equal, okay, meaning what, delta 1 plus del R1 is equal to delta, why can't I write delta 2 plus R2. Now the deviation in that case, in most cases actually, in our normal prism, this is equal to this, so R1 is also equal to R2. Okay, so now if we take a 60 degree angle, okay, if the A is 60 degree, if A is 60 degree, remember, if A is 60 degree, then and if A is 60 degree and delta minimum is going on, then the light ray will pass parallel to the base. Okay, so let me give you one sum, and obviously if prism anything is not given, so you will take equiangular prism. That meaning what? 60 degrees. So Let me give you, and let me tell you the other dependence also. It also depends on the deviation of the angle of deviation depends on the refractive index. I'm not going to write anything here. Like which has a lower refractive index will have a higher, means inverse. Okay, this is inverse. Lower the RI, maximum the deviation. Dependence on the angle of deviation on the angle of prism, you can easily see this is the formula. So obviously this depends on this, no? Then wavelength of light depends on RI, so obviously it has to depend on wavelength on light also, na? So let's do a sum. Okay, let's do this sum. You have to draw, nothing else. This ray of green light means in all cases green light, so the wavelength does not change. Then mark the angle whenever necessary. Okay, see this, let's do the first diagram only, something like this. This is 60, I guess, and this is 90, and this also enters with 90. Is it 60? Yes, it is 60. So first it will let me draw it with a different color, no? You will understand it better. It will go and hit here. Y straight, 90 degree, no deviation, remember. Now it will obviously, it is going from the glass to air, so it's what, it will go away from the normal. So if this was the normal, it will go away from the normal, meaning it will go something like this. One second, let me draw. It will go something like this. Now it is also given in the question, mark angles whenever necessary, so we have to mark this angle also, this angle. So I will extend this here. This will be 90 degrees, so this will be 30. So by this is parallel to this, so this will be 30. Okay, no need to write these parts. Okay, in your exam don't write these parts. I did that for calculation. Okay, don't write this in your exam, these parts once. Yes, in exam this should be the answer. Don't do with a different color, please. I am doing it so that you people understand. The second question, 30 isosceles. Okay, 30 isosceles. So this is the thing, 30, that is isosceles to 150, 75, 75. So it is entering like this. Obviously since it is 90, it will go like this, going to the rarer medium, so it will go something like this. Now I'll have to draw this normal in this side. Why can't I draw the normal? One second. Yes, the normal something like this. Then this is 30. This angle will then be this angle. This is 90, no? So this will also be 90. So this will be 60. So this is the normal, so this will be 30. You will mark only these things you will not mark in the exam. Okay, just draw the final diagram. You do your calculation, that's your choice. The last question was something like this, I guess. So this is 90, this is 45, means isosceles again, and it is hitting at a 70 degree angle. It is hitting at a 70 degree angle. 70 means it will bend a little bit inside, meaning it will go something like this, then like this. Now here you don't need to mark any angles because can't do it, man, can't do it. 70 degree is not a standard angle. Sin 60 you know, sin 70 you know, no, that's why. So you can't do it. You don't need to do angles here and you will get full marks here. Okay, then so bye, and nothing else to say, and